Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Electrotechnics N5. My name is Gyan Krishna. I'm the National Sales Manager for TVET at Macmillan Publishers. The objective of today's session is to help you prepare for the new N5 curriculum implementation. Just regarding the platform, you will see on the right-hand side, there's the control panel, and perhaps the most important thing that you will be using is the chat box. That will give you the opportunity to pose your questions to our presenter, who's Sunil Chattergoon. Please type up your questions and Sunil will address these at the conclusion of the presentation. I'd like to also ask you to switch off your cameras if you have them on, because that will draw bandwidth and may cause connectivity issues for certain people. So if you could switch off your cameras, that would be great. Today's session is presented by Sunil Chattergoon, who is well known in TVET circles. He's got many years of lecture experience, actually 32 years. He's been involved as chief marker, member of the curriculum support team. He's authored a number of books and also a past national examiner for 2 subjects. So I'm going to hand you over to Sunil, who's going to run through today's presentation, Electrotechnics N5. Please sit back, relax, enjoy, and make notes of your questions. You can pose them live at the end, or you could use the chat box. So over to you, Sunil. All the best.
Thank you very much, Gyan. Good afternoon, colleagues, and welcome to this webinar concerning the curriculum changes that will be implemented as from the second trimester of 2021. Colleagues, I want to express my sincerest gratitude to you all for making time this afternoon to be part of this session, and also to all of those who sent in their inputs and comments concerning the series of books that I've written for Tropan Macmillan. In this webinar, I want to briefly review and discuss the new curriculum outcomes for Electrotechnics N5. Discuss how this affects the learning content, your academic year, and your assessment. Then show you how the Macmillan TVET first book for Electrotechnics N5 will support your teaching. As you may know, the TVET curriculum for many subjects, including this one, have been reviewed and updated by the Department of Higher Education and Training for implementation in 2021. Let's have a look at what these changes are for Electrotechnics N5 and how they will affect your teaching. The general aims of the subject still remain the same. Electrotechnics aims to provide learners with knowledge and skills used in the electrical engineering industry and to enable learners to solve electrical problems and adhere to safety standards and procedures. The specific aims is to assist learners to obtain trade-specific skills, knowledge, values, and attitudes so that they can demonstrate competence in the field of electricity. The specific aims of the curriculums also to equip learners with knowledge and skills to perform calculations concerning armature reaction, commutation, speed control, and resistance starting of DC motors, to solve problems concerning single-phase and three-phase circuits, to draw the no-load and load vector diagrams as equivalent circuit diagrams of a transformer, to be able to measure the total power drawn by a three-phase balanced or unbalanced load using what to determine the magnitude of the EMF generated by a synchronous three-phase induction. Many of you
Hi, Sunil. Sunil?
Hello again, can you hear me?
There's an issue with your audio. They seem to be losing you. We seem to be losing audio. It's intermittent.
Oh, sorry.
Can you just go back to the previous slide?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Could you start with changes
Okay.
to the curriculum?
Okay. Now, one of our colleagues has on.
Yeah, please switch off your cameras. That's affecting connectivity. I don't know this thing.
So again, I'm not sure where you guys lost me.
I think shall we just start again then?
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mr. Mguni, if you could please switch off your webcam, sir. Good afternoon and welcome, colleagues. I'm not sure if I'm audible now. In
Yeah,
this webinar, I want to briefly review and discuss the new curriculum outcomes for Electrotechnics N5. Discuss how this affects the learning content, your academic year, your assessment, and show you how the Macmillan TVET first book for Electrotechnics N5 will support your teaching. As you may know, the TVET curriculum for many subjects, including this one, have been reviewed and updated by the Department of Higher Education and Training for implementation in this year. Let's have a look at what these changes are for Electrotechnics N5 and how they will affect your teaching. The general aims of this subject remain the same. Electrotechnics aims to provide learners with knowledge and skills used in the electrical engineering industry and to enable learners to solve electrical problems and adhere to safety standards and procedures. Electrotechnics aims to assist learners to obtain trade-specific skills, knowledge, values, and attitudes so that they can demonstrate competence in the field of electricity. The specific aims of the curriculum are to equip learners with knowledge and skills to perform calculations concerning armature reaction, commutation, speed control, and resistance starting of DC motors, to solve problems concerning single-phase and three-phase circuits, to draw the no-load and full-load vector diagrams as well as the equivalent circuit diagrams of a transformer, to be able to measure the total power drawn by a three-phase balanced or unbalanced load using the 2-watt meter method, to determine the magnitude of the EMF generated by a synchronous alternator, to perform calculations with regards to three-phase induction motors, to determine the voltage regulation and efficiency of short transmission lines. The content of the curriculum has been broken down into weighted modules with the learning content detailed and all learning outcomes clearly numbered. Some of the modules have been reordered. The old modules 7 to 10 have been removed completely. I know that many of you who are offering this subject are wondering, what am I referring to when I say old modules 7 to 10, because you know that this subject only has 6 modules. When I say old, I am referring to the syllabus guide dated January 1981. This is the only syllabus guide that we have in our possession. I'd quickly like to go through what the old modules were. The old module 7 was on switchgear and protective devices. Module 8 was on static control. Module 9 was on installation, care and maintenance of cables, transformers and switchgear. Module 10 was on materials used for the design of electrical equipment. Notice that the modules are now equally weighted except for modules 6, which is measurement of power in AC circuits, and module 4 and module 6, which is generation and supply of AC power. The weighting of cognitive skills allows for approximately 25% theory or knowledge type of questions, 75% calculation or problem solving type questions. If you look carefully at each of the columns, you will notice that by adding the maximums of each column, we get 95 and not 100. There seems to be a mistake in the syllabus guide. I am hoping that the examiner will allocate the missing 5% to calculation type questions so that the paper will not exceed 25% theory type questions. Let's take a look at the changes that have been made to each module in more detail. Majority of the learning outcomes in this module on DC machines are taken directly from module 1 of the old syllabus. These learning outcomes are DC motor characteristics and applications, calculations of the back EMF using Kirchhoff's voltage law and the EMF equation, calculating the torque produced by a DC motor. Armature reaction, we have to draw diagrams and perform calculations. Commutation, we have to define, draw diagrams, perform calculations, and state the methods used to reduce sparking or to improve commutations. Speed control of DC motors, draw diagrams, perform calculations for both series and shunt motors. Resistance starting of DC motors, we need to learn diagrams and to perform calculations. The characteristics of DC generators and calculations to obtain level compounding. The learning outcomes that are no longer covered in module 1 are connections and the method of reversing the direction of rotation and welding machines. The learning outcomes covered in module 2 are taken directly from module 2 of the old syllabus. These learning outcomes are the generation of an alternating EMF, AC waveforms and alternating quantities, definitions and calculations, and including the mid-ordinate rule. RLC circuits, power in AC circuits, three-phase balanced loads, and unbalanced star-connected loads. The learning outcomes covered in the module on transformers are taken directly from module 3 of the old syllabus, and they include operation of a single phase transformer, including useful and leakage flux, circuit and vector diagrams for a transformer operating on no load and full load, the equivalent circuit diagram of a transformer on load but ignoring voltage drops, and to perform calculations, equivalent resistance, reactance, and impedance referred to either side of the transformer, and to determine voltage regulation of a transformer that is supplying a load working at a leading and lagging power factor. We need to learn losses occurring in a transformer and to be able to explain the open and short circuit tests that are performed on single phase transformers. For three-phase transformers, we need to know diagrams and to be able to perform basic calculations. Parallel operation of transformers, the requirements to parallel transformers, as well as calculations. Colleagues, once you have in your hands a copy of the newest curriculum, please check very carefully Learning Outcome 3.5.3. This is that question that requires a long solution for approximately 19 marks, where learners have to firstly determine the resistance, reactance, and the impedance of each transformer using the results obtained from the open circuit and short circuit tests. The learning outcomes that are no longer covered here are welding machines, tap changing of transformers, and cooling methods in transformers. Module 4, which is weighted 10%, which covers measurement of power in an AC circuit. This module was previously module 6 of the old syllabus. The learning outcomes cover watt meter connections in circuits to measure power drawn by balanced and unbalanced star and delta connected loads using the 2 watt meter method. The following content has been removed: range changing, shunt resistors, and instrument transformers. Alternating current machines was previously module 4 of the old syllabus. The learning outcomes taken from the old syllabus include the EMF equation of an alternator, parallel operation of alternators, diagrams and calculations, operation, starting, and the characteristics of synchronous motors, to be able to explain the operation of induction motors, 3-phase, the slip and the energy flow and torque calculations. The following content has been removed: speed control by pole changing, reversal of direction of an induction motor, circle diagrams. Circle diagrams will now only be discussed at the N6 level. Module 6, generation and supply of AC power, which is weighted at 10%, was previously module 5 of the old syllabus. The following learning outcomes are included in this module: resistance, inductance, and capacitance of overhead transmission lines, to determine voltage regulation and efficiency of only short transmission lines. You'll notice that this new curriculum only has 6 modules, and those are the 6 modules that I've gone through with you. Let us look at the most important curriculum changes for 2021. The syllabus, for all of us who have been teaching this subject, will notice that this syllabus is largely unchanged. Fortunately for us, the previous authors and the examiners somehow left out conveniently modules 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we are all accustomed only to modules 1 to 6. The modules have, however, been weighted and reordered slightly. Welding machines and methods of reversing the direction of rotation of DC motors are no longer covered in the DC machines module. Welding machines, cooling methods, and tap changing are no longer covered in modules on transformers. Range changing by the use of shunt resistors, as well as instrument transformers, are no longer covered in the module on measuring instruments. Speed control by pole changing, reversal of direction, and circle diagrams are no longer under induction motors in N5. So the old module 7, 8, 9, and 10 of the old syllabus have been removed completely. The TVET first book for N5 Electrotechniques, produced by Macmillan and Tropant, is aligned to the requirements of the new curriculum. Each module in the book matches to each module of the new 2021 syllabus. The modules and units of our books are aligned to the curriculum and use the same topics and subtopics. We are going to take a closer look at how our book can help you in the classroom. It is full of useful features that will help you and your learners to navigate your way through this new curriculum. Each module starts with an overview box that introduces the content to be covered in the module and lists all the learning outcomes from the curriculum. The overview box is followed by a starter activity, a class discussion designed to introduce learners to the content by relating it to things they are already familiar with. We have used easy to follow explanations in simple language throughout, particularly for difficult sections. For example, to explain how to calculate the turns per phase and the number of conductors per slot in a synchronous alternator. There are also numerous boxes called important, in which you will find detailed explanations of terminology that often pose a challenge to our learners. In some places, the book goes beyond the requirements of the topic in order to enhance understanding, hence the size of the book. This trend also allows for the foundation to be laid for sections to be discussed in N6. The book offers clear explanations of many concepts that are generally taken for granted in our teaching and learning process. For example, explaining pole arc, pole pitch, leakage flux. Very often, these concepts are mentioned in our daily lectures, but learners do not understand what we are talking about. All diagrams included in the book are accompanied by a legend in which all symbols are fully described. The learning content is supported by comprehensive and carefully selected, worked out examples to help learners understand difficult concepts and calculations. The book contains many photographs which help with learners' understanding and link what they're learning to the workplace. There are many occasions when we in class discuss certain things and the learners have no idea of what we are talking about. Hence these photographs. Part of the special features of the book include a step-by-step solution to all calculation type questions, and these solutions are supported by clear and fully labeled circuit diagrams. A summary of the content of each unit of each module is included at the end of the module, highlighting all the key points. These are excellent revision tools. Another very important feature of the book is that all examples contained in the activities and summative assessments are modeled around examination type questions. Keywords are provided in the margins to assist learners with difficult terminology. Definition boxes highlight the important terminology. Gray information boxes are used throughout the book to highlight the important formulae and important rules. Each module is concluded with a summative assessment. These are indispensable for revision and examination preparations on exam type questions. All the keywords, vocabulary, and definitions from the book are included in a comprehensive glossary, which provides an excellent reference for the learners. The abbreviations and symbols used in the book are also listed at the back of the book for easy reference. Since this series was written by one author, you will find that the symbols and abbreviations used throughout all the books are consistent. Exam tips are included throughout the book to assist learners with their preparation for the class assessments and for the final examination. There is a practice examination paper which learners can use for examination preparation. Attention is given to new and problem areas with unique instruction. For example, short pitched and full pitched coils, how to determine conductors per slot, electrical versus mechanical degrees, and so on. Our book details procedures in simple table form to help learners with challenging content. Resonant circuits in LC circuits. Our book shows by means of simple vector diagrams why in a parallel circuit we can use the same formula to calculate resonant frequency as we did in a series circuit. The book explains difficult concepts using simple diagrams. Here are examples of sketches explaining short-pitched, full-pitched coils used in synchronous alternators. Our comprehensive lecturer's guide includes the following: full solutions to all activities, curriculum mapping document, lesson plan template, a suggested 10-week teaching plan, teaching guidelines and useful web links, 2 class tests with memoranda and analysis grids, memorandum for the practice examination paper which appears in the student's book. Electrotechnics N5 will be evaluated still by means of 2 formal class tests and a final examination. A practice class test 1 and a practice class test 2 are provided in our lecturer's guide. These practice class tests are accompanied by memos and analysis grids. A practice examination paper is provided in the student's book. Memo and analysis grid are provided in the lecturer's guide. Colleagues, let me also inform you that the Department of Higher Education and Training has recently aligned the N1 Electrical Trade Theory and the N4 Electrotechnics question papers to the requirements of the new syllabus. By that I mean April of 2021 will see the writing of these new question papers. Learners who will be attempting Electrical Trade Theory N2 and Electrotechnics N5 will be confronted with the new syllabus paper in August of this year. Electrical Trade Theory N3 and Electrotechnics N6 will be written in November of this year based on the new syllabus. We have used this presentation to bring to your attention all of the significant changes made to the syllabus, to this subject, and Tropan Macmillan has just the book for you and your learners. All books in this new series will be available in this year. The books making up this series will be Electrical Trade Theory N1, Electrical Trade Theory N2, Electrical Trade Theory N3, Electrotechnology N3, Electrotechnics N4, Electrotechnics N5, and Electrotechnics N6. Please be reminded that the Electrotechnology N3, no amendments have been made yet. Colleagues, thank you very much for listening to me, and it is my fervent hope that you have found this session beneficial. I will now hand over to Gan, who will take any questions or queries from you. Over to you, Gan.
Thank you very much, Sunil, for a very informative session. Lecture is open to you now. You've got the opportunity to pose your questions. If you're seeking clarity on the new curriculum, any questions on the textbook, anything about assessment, Sunil is available to tackle those questions for you. So just raise your hand and we'll give you the opportunity to pose your question. Yes, Rafilwe?
I'm sorry I joined later. You know, there's a lot of running around. I'm from Kangala TVET College, but I'm not one of the lecturers who are teaching the subject. I had shared the information with the campuses. I'm joining this meeting as the curriculum manager of the college. And my question is based on the Gazette. I see that we've got new books that are set to be still written on the lower level. And there's a Gazette that speaks to the phasing out of N1 to N3. Just to check if, as we develop these new books, are we also taking that into consideration, or we will be shifting those new books into the new programs that are set to be aimed at catering for the student who are no longer going to be able to start on N1 to N3? I hope my question is clear, because this is one of the subjects that our college is not doing that much well with electrotechnics. So I think the presentation is available. So I have to find out afterwards if there are any people who logged in from Kangala. That is my question. Thank you.
Can I respond to that, Gan?
Yes, please go ahead, Sunil.
Colleague, thank you very much for the question that you have raised. Yes, it is a working document that is seeking inputs from all stakeholders throughout the country with regards to the phasing out of N1, N2, and N3. Also, to converting the N4, 5, and 6 to longer duration courses. That is actually a working document. We have not yet had anything that is final. What amazes me and what causes a lot of confusion, examiners have already set examination papers for the next long time. The Department of Education and Training has brought in all the examiners and moderators for the N1 and N4 exam to come in and realign these question papers to the requirements of the new syllabus. The department is still awaiting the book publishers to submit books that meet the requirements of the new curriculum. So with all this happening, and still us made to believe that this course or these courses are going to be phased out, I think it is a very difficult question for anyone to answer. So what I feel is that they might try something, and failing which happened in the past, will revert to these native programs.
Thanks, Sunil. Juanchi Rancere, please pose your question.
Thank you, sir. As you have said that this curriculum is for 2021, I'm working at Jamestown campus, EWC, but what surprises me is that we are still using the old textbook here for LE Ching, so I don't know when are we going to get these new ones for the learners. Thank you.
Okay, if you are using the book LE Ching, that is a product of Tropant and Macmillan. So
no,
the book,
the book that we are using now with the students is the old one for LE Ching.
that's right. That book is a product.
But
that book is a product of Tropant Macmillan.
Yeah.
And the new book, which is aligned to the learning outcomes of prescribed by the new syllabus, that's the book that I have authored, which will only be available on the market late, I would say mid-April. And promo already circulating among colleges for educators to have a look at and to make recommendations to their colleges to purchase the books.
Okay.
So the promotional copy in our store is out there circulating among colleges.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Also, remember that this is for trimester 2. So the books will only be ready closer to the start of trimester 2.
Okay.
It is not for trimester 1, the N5 books.
All right.
Yes.
But what I've done, if you go to the chat, I've right at the bottom, after our emails, I've put in links to the ebook that's available on our website, so you can have a look at the ebook version. Then we've also got very short videos, 2 to 3 minutes, explaining the changes in the curriculum. So there's the link to the YouTube videos. Please make a note of that, copy it and paste it somewhere. And then here you could view the ebook samples if you haven't received a copy as yet. But please take my email down, and if you require
Hello?
A copy, just send me an email and we'll make sure that you receive a copy.
Sorry, I think we have missed the most part of what you were saying. So if you can just repeat yourself, sorry. They seem to have had, we seem to have had a problem with connectivity. I don't know if it's only me.
Okay, what I said is there's N5 books. It's only for trimester 2. So you'll have books ready closer to the start of trimester 2, but you can order the book in the next few weeks. And then I said, I've put links at the bottom to ebooks available on the website. So please make a note of that. And also there's links to videos that we've done, which are about 3 minutes long, that just explains the changes from the old to the new curriculum. So it won't take you too long to view this. You haven't seen it already. So check under the chat and you'll find all the information there that you require. Okay. Do I see another hand up? Refiwe, Masilela?
Oh, is my hand still up? Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, you need
Let
to.
me take it down. Is it
All
down
right.
now? Is
Next
it down?
person. Yeah, it is. Makasiwe, we addressed yours. Kaluta? Kaluta, go ahead.
No, you didn't address me.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes. First of all, I must say this is a great book. This is a great curriculum. More especially, I've just noticed now for the DC generators or DC motors, or better the DC machine, the speed control of the DC machine. I have noticed that my learners normally have problems there, but I've noticed that from your book it's quite clear. There is explained quite clearly there, so I must appreciate that. And also, what I was gonna say, is it possible that you share this presentation with us so that in our spare time we go through it so we can get used to all those changes? That was
Yes.
gonna be my question. And also the conduct part. I wanted your conduct part. You have already addressed that.
Okay.
At the bottom, we do have your contact details there. But I must say, it's quite a great presentation. I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to having the book.
Thank you, Kaluta, for that positive feedback. Yes.
It's Magazi, not Kaluta.
Sorry?
It's Magazi, we're not Kaluta.
Okay, my apologies. Yes, the presentation will be shared with you. Sunil, is there anything you'd like to add to what he raised?
Colleagues, I thought we would get more questions, but I am very, very grateful for acknowledging the quality of the book.
Yeah.
I'm sure many of you are currently using the N6 Electrotechnics textbook from Tropan Macmillan.
Yes.
When you see the final copy of the N5, it will be similar to that. And I'm actually quite concerned now. I'm hearing for the second time that in Gangala, you are experiencing difficulty with this subject. I am not sure as to whether you guys are using the N6 Electrotechnics textbook from Tropan Macmillan. You'll find the N4 Electrotechnics textbook also is extremely simple in its presentation. So and I've offered the last time, if you guys are having specific problems, you can address it with me either via GAN or myself directly. I also want to inform our colleagues, those that have seen our N1 textbook, you'll notice that it is in full color. At the time when I presented the N2 webinar, we were not sure whether the N2 will also be in full color. And I got confirmation recently that the N2 will also be in full color. So the quality of our books have improved drastically in its appearance, in the manner in which we've presented, the type of questions that we have put in. And I think many of the examiners and moderators are going to really enjoy these books because they have all the tools at their disposal to set good quality question papers. Thanks, Ken.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any further questions that we haven't addressed yet? Please unmute yourself and you can pose your question. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. How will you send the presentation to us?
Yes, the presentation will be emailed. It'll be emailed to you.
Sorry?
It will be emailed. We've got your email address.
Email.
Yeah, because you've registered, so we've got a database of the emails, and the presentation will be emailed to you.
Okay, together with your contact.
Yeah, you'll have my email on that.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, next. Is anyone else?
It's Rufila again.
Yes, Rufila.
I also want to appreciate the effort because for years our lecturers have been saying that they think if they can have access to the authors or the examiners, maybe they will be able to improve their results. But I really appreciate the contact that we are getting here, and as we have been conscientized that we can communicate, we can assure that this indeed is one of our subjects that are not doing well. Though we do have 1 or 2 campuses where you find that in some of the levels they are doing well, but I know that when it comes to N6, it has just been a struggle. I think we will build that relationship from here, and from the curriculum manager's office, it is my responsibility also to see to it that the subjects that are not doing well, we get the necessary support, and we will surely use this opportunity to be able to give our lecturers the necessary support and information that they need. I believe that we will have that flexibility, that if we have a meeting, probably say a subject meeting, and then we request for a presentation where all the lecturers are gathered together from the college, if we can also be allowed to do that, we would really appreciate it, because then we will be having the actual people who are teaching the subjects, and they'll be able to interact and ask the questions. I know that it might also be, my request might seem to be a repetition of what is here today, but I think we can attest to the fact that we've started our lectures very late and we are heading to the exam, so it might also be that we are not getting a good turn-up of lecturers because they are trying to push with their teaching, so that they make sure that as the students are going to the exam, they get the information. But I would just love to request that if we will have that room where from colleges we do have access through maybe the emails or this platform, where we'll be able to request for extra support for lecturers teaching the subject in different levels. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rafilwe. You've got Sunil's contact, you've got my contact, so please email us your request and we'll see how best we can support you. Sunil?
Thank you. That is fine, Gen.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else? Please just unmute yourself and you could ask your question. Is there no one else?
Yes, it's Juanchi again.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'm so thankful for this wonderful presentation, for this good textbook. So the only problem is if we can, if the department can maybe talk to the examiners, more especially for the Electrotechnics N5, so that they must include formulae from the formula sheet. Because if you can check the formula sheet for Electro N5, it is problematic because it is without the formulae. The formulae are not all there, so learners are struggling to work out problems using formula. If they can review the formula sheet for Electro N5 when they set the final exam, it will be better. Thank you very much.
Sunil, you want to take that, please?
It's going to be a tough one. Okay, first of all, thank you very much for your positive comment concerning the presentation in our book. With regards to doing the present formula sheet is a duty and function of the examiner moderator and assessments of the DHET. What we are trying to, or what I have tried to do since the beginning of last year, is to organize that the department appoints what we call a verifier or a scrutineer, if you would like to use that word. Yeah. The purpose or function of this person, who is obviously a real authority in the field, to sit at the department one day, scan the 6 papers N1 to N6 that are going to be written, and to make these type of recommendations, to make sure that every question asked is within the scope of the curriculum, to make sure that the formula sheet being used is aligned to the new content of the syllabi, to make sure that the standard and the levels of testing of questions is in keeping with the cognitive prescripts of the document. So these are things that we will hope to come in. I don't know as to whether the department will accede to our request.
Okay, thank you for that response. Anyone else before we close? No further questions. Okay, so Sunil, thank you very much for a very informative presentation. I think, judging by the feedback, it's been very well received. And please remember, we have the similar presentation next week. So if you would like to attend that, again, if you would join in late today, or if you'd like to let your colleagues know about it, please share the email that you received where you registered. It's the very same email where you need to register again for next week's session. So I think on that note, thank you very much. Sunil, just a final word from you. Or if you've got another comment. All right, go ahead.
More of a question. I just want to find out from what you said, is the training gonna be almost the same thing, or is it continuation?
No, it's the same thing. So it gives you an opportunity if you miss today's training, for whatever reason. As you said, colleagues are busy catching up and making sure they finish the syllabus. So this gives them the opportunity to,
We will surely take that opportunity and ensure that we come in big numbers from our
oh, that's great.
Thank you.
So they must register, please. Please encourage them to register.
Yes. If maybe I may just find out how many people do we have here from Kangala, if we do have any?
Can you just answer, ma'am, please? I don't have those details in front of me. Is there anyone from Kangala? No, no one's answering.
Okay, so it's clear that so there's someone who's responding. Who is it?
Mangambi K.
Oh, we've got one person from CN Mahlangu campus. Okay, Mr. Magambi, thank you very, very much. We will really take it forth to ensure that we have the colleagues from other campuses registering. At least we must start from there. Thank you very much. Thank you, Magambi.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, but I have one question for Mener, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Hello. Yeah, I was busy checking many stuff, but sometimes here I was challenging the network, you know? Yeah, I just want clarity for N1 and N4. When are you going to start to change the paper? Hello.
I mentioned earlier in my presentation, you might have missed, the N1 and N4 new curriculums have already been implemented, and the learners will be writing the new paper in April of this year.
Or from the first trimester for 2021, they're going to write a new paper.
Yes, the examiners and moderators were here at Pretoria West last week, realigning the question papers. Is that it, Gan?
Yeah, I think so. So we've answered all the questions, I hope.
I know, I got your point, sir, which means we have to change also, because some of us were still using the old textbook.
Yeah, you should use the new textbook by now.
Yeah, I got your point, sir.
The N1 and N4 has definitely changed, definitely. And the N1, if I may just quickly touch on that, there are drastic changes to the N1 syllabus. The N4, fortunately, not much has changed. There's a new section, though, on network theorems. We, over and above Kirchhoff's laws, we are doing Norton's theorem. And there's parts of the section on magnetism that have been left out, like the hysteresis curves and stuff like that. So please make sure that you have a look at the new textbooks.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your contribution. Thanks for your attendance as well. And please remember that there's a repeat session next week. So invite your colleagues. Sunil, would you just like to say goodbye?
Colleagues, once again, I want to say thank you very much. All of you guys will be faced with this daunting task of sitting one afternoon at your campus, viewing many books, and to recommend a book. Please go through these books very carefully. Check to see whether they are really going to be beneficial to your learners. Look at the quality of the questions. Look at the quality of the content. Many of us, in the afternoons when you're rushing to go home, you have to screen these books. You just page through them, looking at pictures rather than reading content. Here, Tropand Macmillan is offering you a complete series written by one author. There's continuity of information from book to book. There are stuff that is discussed in N6, introduced at lower levels, but done so in order to help learners with understanding and to help you as the educator. The educators acquiring the books from Tropand Macmillan, you'll find that the bulk of the work has been done for you already. There is no going to prepare content. All you need to do is take questions and answers from the book, which will form your assessment, your classroom discussion, and this is the service that Macmillan and Tropand is offering you. We are presenting webinars. We are making ourselves available. Authors are prepared to help you. So I think the service that you are getting from this book publishing company is absolutely great. And thank you very much to Tropand at Macmillan for what you guys are doing. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you very much. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.
Bye.
Fine.